What is going on, guys? It is Wrestlelamia here, back with some more news. Join us now as we look at the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know, including WWE changing Wrestlemania 41 in a big way. Has a criminal investigation of Vince McMahon been dropped? Ricky Starks returns to WWE. The sad news for Tegan Nox. WWE adding a title match to Elimination Chamber. Elias has not been signed, and much more. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos, and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. Also check out our new videos on Wrestlelamia XL. Now let's see the intro and get straight into our first story. Our first story looks at WWE changing up Wrestlemania 41 in a big way. At top of today's news, a report said WWE is considering shaking up its plans for WrestleMania 41, including some top matches. First, is CM Punk finally getting that main event? Now, a new report from WrestleVotes claims that there's been talk about changing up some of WrestleMania's top-tier matches, including the rumored Seth Rollins vs CM Punk vs Roman Reigns triple threat match, and the John Cena vs undisputed WWE Champion Cody Rhodes match. And while neither match is official, it's been mentioned in rumors, but that may have changed, as WrestleVotes reports. I don't know if it's been discussed in an official capacity, but I do know there are people there that would rather that match of Cody Rhodes vs John Cena vs CM Punk than Reigns vs Punk vs Rollins, if that matters at all. I don't know, but I do know that there are some people who would prefer that. Now, CM Punk vs Cody Rhodes bout seems like a no-brainer, especially since they've rarely fought each other. Cultaholic pointed out that Punk and Cody have only had 2 singles matches against each other, and they haven't gone one-on-one since 2008. The WWE seemed to tease a Punk vs Rhodes match in 2024 during the hype for that year's Rumble. Unfortunately, Punk was injured in the match and sidelined for months before working a feud with Drew McIntyre for the most of 2024, probably one of the greatest feuds and matches of the last decade. Punk sat down with ESPN and made it clear he's interested in a match with Cena. I think he's John Cena. I can call his shot, and he's busy doing other stuff. He's spending more time here giving back on his way out. I would feel fortunate if he picked me to do anything with me. Now, booking Punk into the rumored Cena vs Rhodes match would also allow Punk to potentially fulfill his WWE dream, that is to main event WrestleMania, a moment he's always wanted. Punk might not get that chance this year with a non-title triple threat involving himself, Reigns and Rollins. But if WWE does manage to do the switch, which match would you prefer? Let us know in the comments down below. Next up, WWE changing Drew McIntyre Mania plans as well. Now, another match that may be changed is the rumored Drew McIntyre vs Damian Priest bout. As Dr. Chris Featherstone tweeted, sources within WWE have informed me that the online backlash of Drew McIntyre's potential WrestleMania opponent has opened up internal discussions to reevaluate current plans. Now, there's no word on who McIntyre could face if the WWE pivots from his hypothetical match against the Archer of Infamy, or what plans WWE would even make for Priest. Frankly, the best thing for McIntyre right now is to have a big feud against LA Knight, leading to a huge bout at WrestleMania. Who do you think would be the perfect opponent for Drew McIntyre at WrestleMania? Let us know in the comments down below. Next up, has a criminal investigation of Vince McMahon been dropped? Now it's time for an update on one of Vince McMahon's ongoing legal matters. According to the New York Post, McMahon's attorney claims that the criminal investigation into Vince McMahon by federal prosecutors in New York is over. Here are some highlights from the article, which brought up how appeals judges on Friday revealed that a grand jury had considered whether the 78-year-old billionaire broke the law by hiding allegations of sexual misconduct from 2 former female employees whom he ended up paying $10.5 million to keep quiet. The article clarified the ruling from the 3-judge panel does not name McMahon, but refers to the subject of an ongoing grand jury investigation concerning whether, as CEO, he engaged in a criminal scheme to circumvent the company's internal accounting controls and misled company auditors in order to conceal multiple allegations of sexual misconduct raised against him by 2 former company employees. They commented that sources familiar with the matter confirmed the CEO in question is McMahon. This is clearly a case of reading between the lines and trying to figure out what is going on. While they noted the Second Circuit Court of Appeals decision suggests the case is still active, Vince McMahon's attorney Robert W. Allen has stated that the case is over. Here's what he said in the New York Post. This is simply the result of an appeal of a procedural matter that was argued 5 months ago. We have been in consistent communication with the government since that time and understand with no ambiguity that the investigation has definitively concluded and will not result in a charge. Whether the investigations are complete remains unknown, but the Post report did point out, but Friday's ruling, which does not mention sex trafficking, indicates that the probe focused instead on whether McMahon broke the law by covering up the allegations. Hopefully we'll have more update on the situation. Next up, Ricky Starks returns to WWE. Now, another big night on NXT as former AEW talent Ricky Starks was on NXT last night, returning to the WWE. As some of you may know, he was a jobber in the WWE before. Starks had plenty to say, telling fans, "I'm here to turn this place upside down," and that he was there for fans asking when the Revolution will be televised. Now, it was noted leading up to Starks' NXT appearance, AEW did finally give his release last Sunday, whereas AEW deal was reportedly up in April. Now, of course, AEW doesn't have a 90-day no-compete clause, so Starks was able to sign immediately. But why wasn't he mentioned by name? Now, Starks' debut was memorable for several reasons, including why WWE didn't mention his name. Some fans believe that Starks may be repackaged, and according to Fightful Select, the WWE's call not to name Starks wasn't an accident. Why is he on NXT? And what is Ricky Starks doing on WWE's developmental brand? While it's not uncommon for veteran performers to work there to learn the WWE style, a new article from Ringside News suggests a different reason. According to sources, creative plans for WrestleMania are mostly locked in, making it harder to fit him into a major storyline right now. On the other hand, NXT offers more flexibility to work him into the mix immediately. Now, it wouldn't surprise us to see Starks work a program in NXT and then get drafted to Raw or SmackDown. But The Undertaker had a great reaction to Starks' WWE appearance. The Undertaker didn't waste any time to talk up Ricky Starks' surprise appearance on NXT. During an appearance on Busted Open Radio, Taker recalled meeting Starks at a gym while preparing for his 2015 bout with Shane McMahon. According to the Phenom, Starks impressed him with how respectful and humble he was, noting he chatted with Starks at the time and gave him advice on the industry when Ricky revealed he wanted to be a wrestler. The Undertaker brought up how Ricky also helped his wife train for one of her surprise appearances at the Royal Rumble. And one of the Rumbles that Michelle was a surprise guest in, she wanted to get in the ring and he came down and trained with her. The WWE Hall of Famers seemed impressed by Starks, telling listeners, "I've seen him a few times here and there and I've always had great conversations with him. He's a good kid, such a respectful kid. So yeah, that debut caught me completely off guard. I hadn't seen him in probably a year and a half maybe, and then just looked up and saw him there." And The Undertaker isn't the only WWE superstar who reacted to Starks' dynamic debut. CM Punk, who wrestled Starks during their time in AEW, posted a clip of his NXT appearance along with a smiley emoji. Next up, WWE Trademarks new wrestlers' names. Now, as fans wonder what's next for Ricky Starks, a new set of trademark applications by WWE suggests he could work under one of the following names. WWE have apparently applied for 12 trademarks, and here's a list of the names WWE's looking to trademark: Aria Bennett, Braxton Cole, Chantel Monroe, Draco Knox, Harley Riggins, Hazy Jameson, Jax Presley, Mason Holiday, Osiris Griffin, Summer Sorrell, Tate Wilder, and Trill London. What do you guys think of these potential ring names, and do you think one of them might be given to Ricky Starks? I mean, just imagine he's announced next week as Harley Riggins. Next up, Bayley's Hugger is back. Bayley's ongoing program with Roxanne Perez took a bizarre turn on NXT during the Role Models match against Cora Jade. Perez entered the arena wearing Bayley's gear from her Hugger days and Bayley's classic entrance music. The real Bayley promptly attacked Perez, allowing Jade to recover and score an upset win on Bayley. As a result, NXT General Manager has turned this Saturday's Vengeance Day PLE triple threat match between Bayley, Roxanne, and NXT Women's Champion Julia into a fatal four-way with Jade now added. But just looking back on those Hugger t-shirts, who signed that one off? Next up, sad news for Tegan Nox. There's a major revelation from former WWE superstar Tegan Nox, as Tegan reveals she was incredibly sick before she was released by WWE. Nox told the Metro that, "I did get incredibly sick for a little while. We didn't really get a legitimate answer. I went through tests, I was in hospital, a bunch of different stuff. So I think it was down to a lot of stress mixed with other things, but I was really sick, which didn't help with the time off." Tegan, who was released last November, said that while the illness was not life-threatening, the doctor's inability to diagnose it led to confusion about whether she was cleared to return to WWE. Nox told the Metro that she thought she'd be released sooner. "I needed that second to try and figure out what was going on, and then we kind of figured it out. I was on medication, I could have come back, and I was just never brought back from there. I thought I was going to be released a lot sooner." And Nox isn't alone, as WWE recently released more talent last week and opted not to renew the contracts of other superstars. But you guys miss Tegan Nox? Let us know in the comments down below. Next up, WWE adding a title match to Elimination Chamber. Now, Elimination Chamber is fast approaching, but so far WWE hasn't booked any other matches other than the men's and women's Elimination Chamber matches. But that may change, as WrestleVotes recently noted on the Backstage Pass Q&A. I've heard rumblings of a Shinsuke Nakamura title defense. Don't know the opponent, but that's one I've heard could take place at the Skydome. Although Nakamura recently passed the 70-day mark as champion, his title reign has been subdued at best. In fact, he's only had one defense in those 70 days, and it was in a dark match. It's another reminder of WWE's difficulties at booking its undercard, despite SmackDown expanding to 3 hours. But who should he face? Next up, Carlito on why he didn't sign with AEW. Now, if you're wondering why current Judgment Day member Carlito didn't sign with AEW before he returned to WWE in 2023, well, the second-gen superstar explained why to Chris Van Vliet, and it's all about loyalty. I have a thing with loyalty, you know. I mean, I've only ever been a WWE guy, so I always kind of like that. Next up, have WWE forgiven a legendary tag team. Now, it seems like the legendary team of Axe and Smash of Demolition have been put back on the WWE's alumni page. For those not familiar with the situation, Demolition and WWE have been in a long, ongoing legal battle surrounding their names. Could the idea of them being back on the alumni page be a sign that they've now forgiven WWE, or WWE have forgiven them? Could this mean a Hall of Fame induction this year? If so, it's long overdue. Next up, a top luchador not signed with WWE. WWE has made some major moves recently, including the signing of Penta El Zero, Jordan Grace, and Ricky Starks. However, Dr. Chris Featherstone is reporting talks between international superstar Hyode Dr. Wagner and the WWE have stalled. Sources have also confirmed that Dr. Wagner will join AAA instead. Now, Featherstone said that talks broke down when WWE asked Wagner to remove his mask, something that's a big no-no in Mexican wrestling culture. And finally, Elias Not Signed. And last but not least, it looks like AEW and or Ring of Honor fans hoping to walk with Elias may have to wait, as Fightful Select is reporting Fightful Select has learned that Elijah aka Elias is not signed to AEW or Ring of Honor, contrary to reports. Hopefully Elias is seen soon back in action in the ring. But there you have it, folks, the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know. Be sure to leave your comments down below, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.